Well, hello there again. Another day, another nickel, another time to go broke. No, I wanted to get in a discussion today. I kind of do these kind of videos when I get the inspiration, and lately I've had a lot of inspiration. Yesterday, I put a video, I just got done downloading a video about being still and knowing, because it was such a busy day and everything overwhelmed, and I ended up making things work, ended up going back to my other job. That was really confusing, and it made me think, how did Jonah feel when he was asked to go to Nineveh? Now, he was asked to be a prophet. He was told to be a prophet by God. And he was more than happy to go be a prophet wherever he wanted to be, except for Nineveh. Nineveh would probably be what I would consider to be similar to something like, say, Detroit or Fostoria in the ghetto. The place where you really, really are scared to go to because it's so evil and so many bad things happen. And I mentioned those two cities because I know a lot of stuff has happened in both. I've been in both. I'm not scared to go through it. I don't want to live in either one. But Jonah was asked not just to live in it. And again, I'm going with something that is close to what I can think of to be similar. But yet, obviously, Nineveh was a lot worse than those two places. But I'm just trying to think of something equivalent. And I don't think Detroit or Fostoria is near as bad as what Nineveh was at that time. I mean, Jonah was afraid for his life. I'm not afraid of those two places at all. I don't want to live there, but I'm not afraid of it. But it's the close, like I said, it's the closest I could be. And maybe a better comparison would be being on the edge of Israel, where there's a bunch of Palestinians living right there, and they're constantly fighting and bombing. Maybe that's the better comparison. Actually, it's a very much a better comparison because they hate each other so much, and your life is threatened every day. Now, that is actually a very, very better comparison. That is kind of similar to how Jonah felt about Nineveh. He knew that they were evil. He knew that they were not receptive to him. But God said, go to Nineveh and preach. And he's like, no. I'll go anywhere but there. And he kept pleading and crying. And he was so overwhelmed because God was not just asking, God was saying, this is what you're doing. And Jonah was like, no. And God's like, you go now. And he's like, no. So he ran. He was so overwhelmed that not only did he let go of what he was asked to do, but he ran away from his job, his calling, I should say. And he got on a boat to sail away, just to sail away. He's like, I'm free of this. I'm not going to be involved. I'm gone. No, my hands are clean. No. Well, God again had a different idea, and he caused a storm. And he caused a major storm that threatened the lives of everybody on the boat. Now, back then, it wasn't like they had motors and stabilizers and stuff to keep the boat afloat. I mean, it was a sail. They still had a science to it. But it was a sails on a boat that went fishing and went traveling, and they capsized a lot easier than what they do today. I mean, I think of a pirate ship, but not quite as sophisticated. By a lot. And now I think it was sturdy, don't be wrong. It was still built to withstand storms. But God made the storm so bad that Jonah fell asleep and the storm hit. And it was so bad, they were trying to figure out how to get around it because the storm was so bad. They were feared for their lives. And Jonah saw the storm, and he's like, you know what? This is on me. It's not you guys. It's on me. And he very grudgingly accepted the fact that he had to go overboard to save the crew. So he jumped off the ship. Middle of no man's land, but Jonah knew that God was not going to put up with his shenanigans. Nope. No. So Jonah agreed and jumped in the water. And the water's calmed. Big time. And everybody was just like, yay, he saved us, you know. That's what I pictured. They all cheered, and Jonah kind of gave a big wave in the water. Yep, I'm going to drown. And a big, giant whale came up, whoop, swallowed them whole. And it's one of those videos when you watch and you see a whole bunch of people just going, you know what I mean? That's how I picture the crew doing when the whale swallows them, because I don't think there was any hesitation. Jonah jumped in the water. They cheered. You're welcome. I don't know how I'm going to survive. The whale comes up and whoosh, you know what I mean? So that's kind of how I feel about it. And yeah, I'm being kind of dramatic about it. But again, I mean, this is how I picture it. This is exactly how I picture it. And those guys were all like, well, he's dead. What do we do? So, anyway, Jonah's in the belly of the whale for 3 days. No harm's coming to him. No digestion. Nothing else. He's surviving inside a whale. How odd and crazy that must be that he's not being ingested by this whale. It's insane. Only God. Only God. So anyway, he gets back on land, and he goes to Nineveh. The whale throws him up. He comes out, gets on land, goes to Nineveh, and he preaches. It doesn't really say what really happened in Nineveh when he went, but he accepted the fact that he was called. He was told. He was made to go. And I just had a bunch of toaches hit my back seat. The back of my seat. Yay. I'm doing my job. But I'm saying all this because, again, yesterday was a day for me that made me think of that. And I went into my job. I called off. I said, I don't know if I'll be able to make it. And I didn't want to go in for just an hour or two. But I'm like, you know what? I'm meant to be there. And my boss understood, and I know my boss really appreciated me coming in. But it was a nice feeling to know that I'm like, I don't want to be in trouble. I don't want to be a problem. I'm sorry I came in late. I know I can't help it. You knew this coming in, hiring me. And he's like, yeah, I know. And I'm like, some days I just feel like I cause trouble, and it's not my intent. It's not what I'm trying to do. And he's like, no, I have that fully expected. You made it clear. And he's like, I wish everybody talked to me the way you do. And he's like, you know, honestly, and this was a good feeling for me. He told me, honestly, you have been one of the few reliefs I've had at this job. I know he's been struggling with a lot of different stuff, but he told me straight up, and I can't say how much I appreciate it, but he told me how much I have been a relief for him because I have done everything he's asked, and I've tried to do my best job I can do. I've enjoyed it. I think it's been fun. There's some things going on that I don't enjoy, but you have that any place you work at. But, I mean, it's really, as crazy as it sounds, it almost feels like the whole Jonah thing. Because I've got the job I'm doing, and I'm really enjoying the job I do. And I'm talking about my main job, the one I'm doing now, where I'm doing deliveries. And I am meant to be here. I'm called to be here. But the pizza place I'm working at is not something I was really looking to do again in my life. I mean, I wanted to stay out of food and not be in food. But here I am. And I did not take the job I did not take the job for the money, although it's nice to have a benefit like that. I didn't take it because I need it, although it is helping. Especially with the gas prices jumping up, it really helps. I took it because I felt led to it. I took it because the guy said he needed help, and I said I would give him help if he needs it, and I did. And I honestly feel like it was a calling from God. And it's the weirdest thing sometimes, because this thing where, doing the stuff I'm doing was not what I ever pictured myself doing when I was in my 20s. I am gray, I have a kid, obviously I'm not in my 20s anymore. You know, life happens. Time flies when you're having fun. And when you're not having fun, it still flies. But, you know, God has a reason. You know, it's a saying that goes around that God has a reason for the season. And I really feel blessed, because I have worked my tail off, and I still work my tail off from time to time. I had an 18-hour day the other day, and I was so tired, took my daughter with me. She's the one that kept me awake toward the end of the shift. I was so tired. But, you know, things happen. She wanted to be with me instead of going back to her mom's, and she ended up being one of the main reasons why I was able to make it back safe, because she kept me awake. Poor girl, she struggled, but she was having a tough time, but she made it. And now I'm at and then I work at the pizza joint, and I know there's been days, I'm exhausted, I don't want to do anything, I just want to go home. But I've done exactly what I feel like I need to do. I'm trying to integrate a little more and more each time I go in, so I can get more done for the guy and get more done because I like to stay busy. And I think it's really cool the way that's interacted and the way it's worked. And I know, again, there's times I feel like I'm just a problem because of my schedule, and sometimes my job, like today, is just running later than I really want it to be. It is what it is. I run when I'm supposed to. But I am led by God to be there. I have no questions right now that me being there is God's leading, God's choice, God's calling. And it is a blessing even to me, because I really, really feel like me and the guy running it, minus the totes hit the back of my seat every time I slow down, but me and the guy that runs it, I'm not going to say we're close, but we have a connection that I think is really special. He knows I'm in there to help him out however he needs. There's certain things I don't want to do, but if I get asked to do it, I'm going to do it. And I can just say, I really, really feel that. And like Jonah trying to run away, sometimes things happen for weird reasons. You're asked to do things, and at the end it makes sense. But until it happens, it don't make sense. Again, I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it because it's God's leading. And all I can say is just sometimes it's follow your heart on anything God tells you to do. Be open to it. As weird, as unwanted as it might be open to it. And be like Jonah. When he went to Nineveh, I'm almost guaranteeing he made an impact. God said to go there, and he had a reason. And like Jonah, I was asked to go to the pizza place, and I had a reason. God had a reason. And I'm telling you that when you go somewhere or do something that doesn't make sense or you really don't want to do, but you're choosing to do it, you will be blessed in one way or the other. Whether it's in heaven, whether it's on earth, you will be blessed. God promises, I will not put you through anything that you don't want to do, but I will put you through stuff that you are meant to do. It's my own paraphrasing. But that's essentially what the Bible says. Be open to me and I will be open to you. have been blessed beyond belief. Give me your thoughts. Give me comments. Like, share, and subscribe. And I will catch you on the next one. Have a great day. Be blessed.